would like to welcome you on the playground of the artillery, home of the gunners, the Knobbel, on the Remembrance Day of the saint of the gunners, Saint Barbara. A very warm welcome to you, Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador of Kosovo to the Netherlands, Mr. Grechevci. Also a warm welcome to you, Mrs. Helene Van Loon. This may also be a special day for you. Welcome to you, Admiral Bauer. We are very honored to have you here during this ceremony. We're also honored to have our Commander of the Army, Lieutenant-General Wijnen, in during this ceremony. And last and most important, welcome to you, all you KFOR veterans, KFOR-1. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much, Admiral Bauer, General Van Loon, Mrs. Van Loon, distinguished guests, and last but not least, dear KFOR veterans. I'm delighted to be here together with the Defense Attaché, Colonel Ayeti, for a very special occasion today to celebrate the service for the freedom of Kosovo of General Ton van Loon and his fellow KFOR veterans. It is indeed a great honor to present the Order of Freedom on behalf of the President and the people of Kosovo to General Van Loon in the presence of Admiral Bauer, Chief of Defense. Thank you for being here, sir. Today, we pay tribute to a very distinguished Dutch service member, but through him, we give thanks to all Dutch armed forces, the Dutch government and the Dutch people for their immense contribution so that the people of Kosovo can live free and in dignity in their own country. This year, the Netherlands marked the 75th anniversary of its liberation. I have seen many commemorations throughout the country, remembering the sacrifice of the Allied forces who took part in the liberation of the Netherlands, and seeing pictures from that time in 1945 of how the local population greeted the Allied soldiers as liberators. I must admit I was very moved, because that was exactly how the people of Kosovo greeted the NATO peacekeepers, greeted General Van Loon and the KFOR veterans. I'm sure General Van Loon will testify to that. In many ways, your 1945 is our 1999. In February 1999, after a decade of brutal oppression and war, the international community offered a peace plan for Kosovo. Kosovo accepted it and Serbia rejected it. Instead of choosing peace, Serbia started more military offensives against the civilian population. Kosovo Liberation Army tried very hard to defend the civilian population in Kosovo, but was no match to the Serbian military, police, and paramilitary forces, battle-hardened in the killing fields of Croatia and Bosnia. And as a last resort, on the 24th of March 1999, to save the people of Kosovo from an attempted genocide, NATO started a bombing campaign where many brave Dutch pilots participated, during which Serbia committed the most horrible atrocities. 12,000 civilians were killed, including 1,133 children. Thousands of women were raped. Close to 1 million people were deported from their homes at gunpoint, and 100,000 homes were destroyed. This was Serbia's version of the final solution. And then on the 12th of June, 1999, Serbia capitulated, and KFOR peacekeepers came in. They were greeted as liberators by the people of Kosovo. NATO peacekeepers were greatly appreciated then and are greatly appreciated now because they brought freedom with them. And KFOR to this day is the most trusted institution in Kosovo, according to all the polls among all different communities. I will leave it to General Van Loon to tell you himself what happened after he came in on 12th of June 1999 in Rahovec region in Kosovo. But let me add just this. Dutch KFOR under General Van Loon did an outstanding job and offered security to all communities living in Rahovec from different ethnic backgrounds. They enabled the local population to slowly start rebuilding their shattered lives. Their service to peace will never be forgotten in Kosovo. And for some time, General Van Loon and his troops even found themselves standing between Russian troops and the local population who were refusing to allow the Russians to deploy in the region due to their role in support of the Serbian repression. I believe General Van Loon and his troops played another important role. They helped save the largest winery in Kosovo, in Ravec, a region known for excellent vineyards. The retreating Serbian forces were going to blow it up before they left. He stopped it by stationing armored vehicles there. General Van Loon, I believe, will have a permanent bonus card in the winery now. And yet, after all they did, Serbs to date have not expressed any kind of remorse or regret about what happened. In many ways, we still feel the consequences of the war. There are still some 1,600 missing people. Kosovo's economy was devastated, and we had to build everything from scratch. Of course, we had generous help from the international community, and the Netherlands played an important role in rebuilding Kosovo. Kosovo today is free and independent, and we have ever closer relations with the EU, and our strategic goal is to join NATO. We have made also some progress in negotiations with Serbia to normalize relations under the EU auspices, because both countries want to join the EU. And before that, both countries must fully normalize relations, which for us means mutual recognition. And finally, I have been asked to make an announcement. The mayor of Ravec, the region in Kosovo which General Van Loon and his troops helped liberate, has asked me to convey the feelings of immense gratitude by the people of Ravec to him and to all KFOR veterans. The mayor has further asked me to convey to General Van Loon that he will be declared an honorary citizen of Ravec, and that he has also extended an invitation to you, General Van Loon, and all the KFOR veterans to visit at an appropriate time so that he and them can be recognized at a special ceremony. Again, on behalf of the President of Kosovo and the people of Kosovo, I have the immense honor to present the Order of Freedom to General Van Loon for his great contribution for the freedom of Kosovo. Thank you very much, General.
Dear ladies.
Yep, dank u wel. Ik blijf wel langer, denk ik. Ja, dank je. Thanks.
Your attention for the national anthem, Kosovo.
Ambassador, Admiral, General, veterans, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to speak in English first, and I'll switch halfway through to Dutch as well. Mr. Ambassador, it's a great honor for me to receive this medal. I, of course, did Google the medal, and I noticed some of the other recipients. So a lonely Dutch lieutenant colonel, because that's what I was when I was in Kosovo with my soldiers, is surely a great honor. But let me share two thoughts with you. First thing that struck my mind when I heard that I was awarded the Order of Freedom, that is a very fitting name. You already said that. as I said, I Googled it, and I noticed that while Bill Clinton got this medal last year, the president of Kosovo and the former president of the US both noted that the real award is not the medal, but it's the freedom of Kosovo itself. And I fully agree with that. Like Clinton said, to stand up and say no. No to more ethnic cleansing. No more running people out of their homes. No more killing innocent civilians. To be in the position to really make a difference is truly an award only very few can get. This year the Netherlands, as you already also said, celebrates its regained freedom after our 5 years of brutal repression. And just like the images of the Dutch population greeting the liberators, I will always remember the celebrations in Prizren when we entered, with soldiers carried on the shoulders of your Kosovo people. Freedom is a great good, which needs to be protected and which can never be taken for granted. If freedom is lost, we can only hope that good people can help bringing it back. We here in the Netherlands were liberated by many Canadians, Americans, Brits and Poles. For us Dutch soldiers, the opportunity to bring freedom back to Kosovo was truly a great experience, of which we are proud. There are still a lot of places in the world where people are not free. Last week, a friend of mine, Canadian General Romeo Dallaire, held the Cleveringa lecture at the Leiden University. He was not as lucky as we were in Kosovo, because he did not have the means to do his job. He had to stop the massacres in Rwanda, but he could not. He reminded us in the Cleveringa lecture that we must remain vigilant, for now and forever, because every human is human, and no one human is more human than any other. Looking the other way is just not okay. There is, however, one element of freedom I must also address. We saw what extreme we against them thinking can do. We had to see massacred bodies, even small children. If I today hear how we define our own freedom, much more as someone else's lack of freedom, as a competition, I worry. The international order is under pressure. A might makes right attitude is threatening the freedom of the people all over the world. My country should, together with other European countries, stand up for freedom, to make free choices. A Netherlands that withdraws behind the dikes is something I cannot imagine. 75 years of freedom also demonstrates that ultimately we can move forward. In Kosovo, I was once asked, how can we ever forget and ever forgive for what has been done here? I replied with my German captain standing next to me, we should never forget, but we must move forward, because the freedom, true freedom, can only exist when it is shared. That is also the future of Kosovo. The second thing that went through my mind is that I see this award very much as a recognition of our hard work. Of course, the veterans of my own unit, represented here today, unfortunately in small numbers because of COVID restrictions, but we'll make sure that the video gets put on the internet so everyone can watch it. But also the other Dutch soldiers, the engineers, the medics, the loggies from the 8th Battalion on Kanuba Hill. And of course also our successors from 41 Artillery Battalion, who are very often forgotten, but they also served proudly in Kosovo. We are a small country, but we have the deployment of our soldiers for peace and stability in our constitution for a good reason. Together we are strong is the motto of my corps. I'm sorry, still consider that my corps. NATO demonstrated in Kosovo what we can do when we work as a team. We worked very close with our German friends, Turkish colleagues, and yes, for a while, even with our Russian partners. NATO is obsolete and brain dead. No. Not if we truly mean that we are NATO. NATO is more than Article 5. NATO is about values. Sometimes we forget, but the NATO treaty starts with the text, the parties to this treaty are determined to safeguard the freedom, common heritage, and civilization of their people, founded on the principles of democracy, individual liberty, and the rule of law. They seek to promote stability and well-being in the entire North Atlantic region. That is the crucial element of NATO, which we sometimes forget because people only know Article 5. For those reasons, Mr. Ambassador, I'm extremely proud to receive this medal. It is a symbol that stands for the importance of freedom and the attention needed to keep it at the center of our thinking. Veteranen, laat me dan kort ook nog wat in het Nederlands zeggen. Ik zie deze medaille vooral als een hernieuwde erkenning van onze inzet. 1999 is de geschiedenis ingegaan als het jaar waarin de gele rijders Kosovo binnen zijn getrokken. Op 18 december 1999 werd bij de medailleuitreiking in de Gelderdoom een uitzending afgesloten die zeker als zeer bijzonder gekenmerkt kan worden. De mannen en vrouwen die tezamen de eerste Nederlandse afdeling KFOR 1 vormden, hebben veel meegemaakt. Enorme, vaak schokkende ervaringen hebben een diepe indruk achtergelaten. Sommigen van ons lijden daar ook vandaag nog onder. We hebben een heel zware, maar ook heel erg zinvolle uitzending gedaan. We hebben dat samen gedaan. En daarom is dit ook onze onderscheiding. Ik heb dat net ook al in het Engels gezegd, maar toch. We hebben het ook samen gedaan met andere Nederlandse militairen. Zowel naast ons, op Canoe Hill, maar ook met onze opvolgers die vaak vergeten worden. Deze medaille is daarmee ook een erkenning voor Nederland en de Nederlandse veteranen. Admiraal, ik ben daarom ook blij dat u er vandaag bent. Toen wij in Kosovo zaten, was de commandant der Strijdkrachten ook van de marine. En samen met de politieke top hebben zij na Srebrenica ons durven inzetten. En ook dat verdient erkenning. Blijft natuurlijk wel dat het steeds moeilijker wordt voor deze krijgsmacht om dit soort taken op zich te nemen. Misschien zijn we nog niet volledig door het ijs gezakt, maar dan zullen we ons toch met de haren uit het wak moeten trekken. Erkenning voor de veteranen is ook zorgen dat toekomstige generaties zo goed mogelijk toegerust zijn voor dit soort zware taken. Het vak van militair verdient respect en dat niet alleen met Veteranendag. Een moment als dit is ook een moment om even stil te staan bij die offers die gebracht zijn. 75 jaar geleden. Ambassador, if you look around, you can see all these windows with names on them. These are soldiers from the artillery that have fallen in combat. 75 jaar geleden en ook bij al die andere operaties sinds de Tweede Wereldoorlog. We denken soms dat het nooit meer kan gebeuren. Maar daar ben ik niet zo zeker van. Si vis pacem, para bellum. Ambassador, once again, I'm very proud of this award. And I see it as a recognition of a small country's effort to make a difference in Kosovo and the world. Thank you very much.